Hello and welcome back to Drak's Sarcastic Guide to Hellfire Citadel for the extremely latecomers. Iskar. Iskar is one of those bosses on Mythic that kind of becomes moot with gear. There are two mechanic changes, one of which is basically completely pointless unless you don't have the DPS. Get the DPS. You'll have 2 tanks, 2 to 3 healers, and a mix of melee and ranged. First things first, get Exorsus Raid Tools, or Iskar Assist. It takes all of the thinking out of the encounter, and while manageable without it, I really don't recommend it. We have 3 range stack points that they move between throughout the encounter, and we designate the sides for chakram. Just have a range near the door, on the side, tanks in the middle, and melee near the edge. There are 3 changes to this encounter, all of which are completely cheesable. The debuff from holding the Eye of Anzu is permanent in its stacks. I get to like 40 as a tank and hardly feel it, so yeah, we just pass it between tanks and maybe a lock. The boss will cast an ability called Riposte, which will knock the eye out of the person's hands who is holding it. If you pass the orb while he is casting Riposte, it does not get knocked out, so the tanks just pass it between each other during this. If you miss it, it's really not that big of a deal, just have somebody go pick it up. Now to the only real change that still doesn't matter because gear and rings. During the ad phase, there's a new ad that spawns. This ad does some bullshit new mechanic that you really don't want to deal with. We won't be covering that here. If you don't have the DPS to pull this part off, I don't know, go watch Fat Boss. Have one of your tanks pick up the new ad and drag them to the door. Have a ranged player pop the ring and let loose the dogs of war. This is a rare occasion that you actually do want your dumbass DPS to go AoE cheese happy. You will want to front load all of your AoE cheese damage into the ring from all of the ads up front and blow up the ring on the new ad alone. We do have our 2 to maybe 3 hunters set on the ad permanently. In the event our DPS didn't have their big boy pants on and the ad is still alive by some miracle, they can easily kill it off without real issue. Once it's dead, just do the rest of the mechanics as usual. Pass to healer to dispel, we'll use a tank for interrupts, and stack up. It's worth noting that the fire is kind of super annoying, so we just have range move out of the group and stand still in it. Trust in your healers. If they fail, you get to blame them. It's really a win-win. On the third set of ads, we actually just pop ring and dump all of our damage onto the new ad. He usually dies before the ring even explodes. Kill off the ads, kill the boss. Enjoy mixed loot and a DPS trinket that rarely drops.